It's Hearts standard, and after winning their first two Conference League matches, there was more chance of the sun not rising tomorrow morning than Hearts not getting through to the knockouts of the Conference League. But yeah, here we are. I'm Craig Cairns. This is Joe Sked. Joe, we still managed to not go through. How did that happen?
This team are not very good. So it's as simple as that. It's hard to put into. I find speaking at the best of times difficult, but it's kind of hard to put into words just how kind of bad that was, and just how it's unravelled the last couple of weeks. It's you go back to after the first couple of games, heading into the Heidenheim game, you're thinking we could actually finish in the top 8 places. Forget about qualifying. Let's qualify for the knockout stage. Let's just qualify straight for the last 16. We talked about it on Wednesday. The build up, and yes, everyone was a bit down because of the Kilmarnock game, but this was a huge opportunity for the players, for everyone, for the club to make a bit of history, to play in Europe after New Year for 35 years, and Hearts are not. They had the worst team in the Conference League.
Finished bottom.
They finished bottom, came
winless.
Came and drew 2-2, and I actually think it was a deserved point for them. Neil Critchley spoke afterwards, and he was really angry after the Kilmarnock game. He kind of talked up aspects of the performance today. I didn't think it was a good performance at all. I don't think it was. To begin with, you thought, they're maybe try and put them under a wee bit of pressure, but it was never sustained. My view was always that if Petrocub were able to see out the first 15 minutes and then settle in, Hearts were in big trouble, and that's what happened. I think there was a spell halfway for a wee bit in the second half where James Wilson scored, and then the crowd got up for it, and they were like, finally, come on, let's get behind the players after understandably being very frustrated. And then when Blair Spittle scored, you're looking great. That's we're going to get over the line, but it's not going to be pretty. I started writing it. I said, like, bloody hell, that was hard work. It wasn't enjoyable, but Hearts are in the next round just, and then to concede that penalty where it was just such a messy goal to give away, a messy penalty to give away. Can't really criticise James Penrith too much. He was just trying to block a shot. You said, I think Gordon probably could have came for the cross.
I think so, yeah. I need to see it again, but it looks like he could just cut out that danger by doing what their goalkeeper was doing all night and just coming and catching the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goalkeeper kind of, having gone from punching everything, just became absolutely brilliant in terms of taking it from him. But I didn't think Hearts were going to score a game when it went 2-2. I didn't know what formation we were playing. We just had players all over the place. Liam Boyce came on, and it just looked desperate. And the more desperate Hearts got, the worse Hearts got, which was quite a thing. And then you can hear the anger in the background.
Is that, I think, the same guy that was going by a minute? No, I think it might be different guys. Anyway, that's everything from us. I'm only joking. That was a John McGlynn-esque answer you gave there. Just like, what are your thoughts on the game, John? And then he wipes out all your other questions. So I'm going to have to think on my feet now. The first half. Okay, you'll understand why there was a wee quick edit in there. First half, I think I was going to go on to talk about the first half. I had similar thoughts to you, that I thought it maybe deserved a bit more criticism than it got, because while I would agree with Critchley that there were differences to what happened against Kilmarnock on Sunday, it still felt like Hearts are the team that's supposed to be taking the game to the opposition. They're not really working the goalkeeper, and the opposition look more threatening every time they break, even though it was like fewer times tonight in that first half than Kilmarnock maybe did.
But it was. Critchley spoke about Danda putting some good crosses in and about getting the ball in the goal in the box, but that was the same as Kilmarnock. Hearts did put the ball in the box. They put the ball in the box 35, 40 times, and then they did the exact same when it went wide and then just crossed in, and it's just easy to defend against. It just didn't feel like the Hearts were going to create anything that was it was decent. You look at the first couple of goals where I think did the first couple the goals did I'm sure it came off a Petrocub player, and then
Helps
it fell
on.
to,
It's half cleared the first one. Oh no, wait, the second one. I'm thinking of the second one.
Second one was and then Spittle heads it, and then I'm sure that it came off a Petrocub player, and it went into James Wilson's path, and he scored.
Oh, did Shankland not pull it back for him?
I can't remember how
I think Shankland gambles on the defender not heading the ball, and then is in behind the defence basically.
Yeah, I can't remember quite how it came off, but it wasn't like we were cutting them open. It never really looked like cutting open. And I thought the first half was really, really bad. Kind of wrote that. It was like, where was the reaction to Kilmarnock? It was kind of half-hearted stuff in terms of forcing them back in the first half with the ball. I mean, and then it just lost their way. As soon as Petrocub scored, Hearts, I think understandably, Hearts fans, that's when they turned. I've spoken about it before. I thought they'd been a bit too patient with the nature of performances this season, but it turned the frustration.
Every backward pass.
Yeah, the frustration was strange.
Every missed chance.
Every
chance for Petrocub.
But that's the thing. It's like it's been all building up.
Yeah.
All building up, and then it was released when it went 1-0 to Petrocub. You can make the argument that maybe it turned too quick, but there's only so much that the fans can take before they just like, enough is enough. We need to make our feelings felt. We made their feelings felt to players. We made their feelings felt to the board. Obviously, you heard that in part of the video today, but we couldn't keep recording because it was really loud and it was right next to us. But yeah, it was just really poor, and that the team just lost all direction in the first half and never really recovered it.
They did get back ahead. I mean,
sorry to cut across you. And Petrocub should have scored a second, where again Gordon played a poor pass out to Oyegoke, and then
tried to blame him for it.
and then the cross in, and then the guy just got. I don't think the guy realised how much space he had and time he had, and he made a mess of his header. It's kind of going back to Kilmarnock there. Hearts have loads of the ball, but somehow don't create enough good chances, but also give up good chances.
I think that was the worry again. I mean, even despite Hearts getting back into the game and getting ahead, either side of that, it's the big worry or the biggest frustration, I think, for Hearts this season, or one of them, I have to say. Maybe it's not the biggest, but one of them is definitely that just seem to run out of ideas when a team sits in against them. And similar similarities with Kilmarnock at the weekend there. Petrocub had something to defend, and for the rest of that first half, Hearts just didn't have any ideas other than lobbing balls into the box, which the keeper dealt with mainly.
Predictable and easy to play against is how you is Hearts side, and I don't know if it's just because I watch them every single week, but it just seems so easy to set up against Hearts, and it doesn't seem like there needs too much analysis. Okay, if you let them have the ball, and then if you defend, if you're able to pack the box with bodies when they have the ball out wide, fine, and then there'll be space for you to cut them open on the counter attack. And we've seen that there was a few moments, even maybe didn't lead to chances, where there was one pass and it bypassed and got goal side in midfield. So it's
including for the goal, I think.
For the
3 passes.
Goal, the goal,
they had the ball in the left back position.
And clipped it into the left back position, played one pass through, and then a second, and then they're running through.
Yeah. And then they had another chance in the first half that was similar. It came from a similar position, their left back position, and a few passes, and they were in behind Hearts. Where does this? Do you want to say something?
I was just going to ask, just on. I think it's pertinent to bring up. I was going to ask you, because I know that we definitely disagreed with the starting 11, but I don't think Critchley got that right, and he's seen with the reaction from the fans had to Alan Forrest, and I have spoken positively about Alan Forrest and the qualities he has, but I don't think he's I know there's not many players who have justified an attacking role in the team, but I don't think he's don't think he justified a starting position tonight.
No, not three. Not the last 3 games. I don't think he's justified to start the last 3 games. I mean, I don't think anybody has, but I mean, I don't think I don't think Alan Forrest. I was surprised to see him start against Kilmarnock, and I was surprised. I mean, surprised in one sense, but in another sense, I mean, we joked that it was going to happen because it just seems he seems to pick him quite a lot. But I have to stress, not the only culprit.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Just a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week, sorry, against Copenhagen, singled out Vargas for certain reasons. Tonight singled out Forrest, but it's not to say, just because we're singling out and saying things about them, it's not to say that they were necessarily the worst, or the worst, or the biggest reason why Hearts are in this predicament.
Yes, and it's not an individual thing. It is very much a collective feeling that goes, that spreads everywhere. You
mentioned the team selection. I mean, that's something that I thought. I don't know. I don't expect Critchley to come out and say I've made a mistake or anything, but it doesn't seem to want to take any responsibility there. I wonder. Maybe this is obvious, but it did seem like Spittle's been kept for the weekend and then he's been brought on in emergency at half time. Is that why we've maybe seen the likes of Macaulay Tate play and things like that? Is that why we've seen Halkett go off towards the end of the game?
So it's hard to tell because we talked about Forrest and
not that Halkett going off towards the end of the game had anything to do with the result, but like thinking ahead towards the game at the weekend, basically.
So that's potentially, you look at Spittle probably not being as effective in the last couple of games. Boateng didn't have the best of game against Kilmarnock, didn't have the best of games Copenhagen, so might freshen up. But then we've just talked about Forrest not having the best of games and he's retained his place. So it's difficult to know if that was due to form or if that was due to just freshening things up and looking ahead to St Johnstone. Halkett coming off probably is more of a look ahead to St John's because Hearts had all the ball, so there's no point risking them when they had all the ball and chasing the game. And very few centre backs. You need to try and protect the ones that you do have.
No, every time Rolls took a head knock early on. No.
Yeah. So.
So just to finish off. Where does this leave Hearts? I mean, in the last 3 games, there's been a real dip in performance in the last 3 games because we could we've spoken before about the defeats under Critchley. There's been some positives there. There's not been many positives in 3 games in a row there now, I would say, overall. Because we've went from speaking about the missed opportunities and kind of talking about good performances and not kind of good results, and you were kind of hoping that go the other way, that the results would finally come with the results would finally come with the performances, but it's went kind of the other way where the performances have sunk down to the level of the results, and it's just got kind of worse and worse. So you think Copenhagen, didn't really give them a test. Should have done more, but they're a good side. Kilmarnock was just a kind of embarrassing performance with the nature of it, and then to not have the reaction going in today, it just got worse and worse and worse. You look ahead short term, 4 massive league games coming up, 3 of which are at Tynecastle. I reckon maybe the players might be thinking, I wish you were all 4 of them were away from home. Haven't won a game away from home.
That's true, no. Won a game all season. But St Johnstone here on Sunday is there's going to be a mixture of outright anger and apathy. I wouldn't be surprised if there's many empty seats at Tynecastle. I think there's a lot of fans.
People congregating here potentially.
Exactly. I think there's a lot of Hearts fans who are just fed up with watching this Hearts team, and they're just like, you know what? It's nearly Christmas. I can do better stuff with my Sunday afternoon, and that better stuff is sitting in a darkened room doing nothing. And then there's others who will come to the game for one reason and one reason only, and that's to vent, whether it's at the players or at the board, because at the moment Hearts are bottom of the league and out of the Conference League in quite embarrassing fashion. And
if they just gone about a normal way, they just picked up the same amount of points, but just not got everyone's hopes up, not giving themselves like a 97 to 99% chance of going through or whatever it was. Again, just like the Kilmarnock game, like people would have accepted a defeat in some circumstances, given like all the storm, the perfect storm of nonsense. But the fact that they played 10 men for almost the entire game, barely created a thing. And then tonight they go out, they don't just go out, they go out, but they go out in a spectacularly bad way.
Yeah.
Tell you what, we're going to end it here because I might just end it on Sunday. I might just hand them a notice if Hearts don't win.
The thing is, again, I'll just feel that anger, and when you've changed the head coach, there's only kind of, and he's not been long in the job. There's two ways that it goes. It's people who run the club are going to get criticism, rightly so. Hearts are. It shouldn't be the case. So I need to read this. Hearts are in a relegation battle for the second time in 6 seasons. But there's nothing. It's not like administration or there's not like off-field issues. It's I know it was kind of COVID there. I still thought Hearts were heading towards relegation back in 2019-2020, even if they didn't cancel the season. But everything's should be set to have a successful football club. Something's not right. And Hearts fans will direct that anger at the board, and they'll also direct the anger at the players, because there's a lot of players there who've finished third, fourth, third in the last 3 years, and now have the team bottom. And so yeah, there's a lot of anger, and it's that horrible mix between anger and apathy. And it's hard to see a way out at the moment when you look at the performances that we've witnessed Sunday and tonight.
Join us for more of that on Sunday if you're looking for more reaction to this game. There's plenty of stuff that will be going up on heartstandard.co.uk. Heartstandard.co.uk between now and then. It's almost midnight, guys. It's almost midnight. We're going to get out of here. I'm going to edit this, get up the road, and then we will see you all again here sometime soon.